Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over my experiences from my first ever flight all the way through to my first ever solo flight. So let's get into it.
Here's Ash going out for his first flight. We're going to be taxiing out to the runway. Here goes Ash on his first ever takeoff. He's actually taking off himself. There we go. Ash is in that plane flying that one. There he goes.
My first flight was great. It hooked me right from the start. I remember being up there and thinking everything just looked so clear. I'd done a lot of flight sim leading up until this, but I hadn't actually been in a real small aircraft. Flying for recreational purposes in a real aircraft is such a privilege. Reflecting back on these videos makes me think of how lucky I am to be flying a bit more often now. Every moment that I'm in the air is certainly not being taken for granted. Following my trial introductory flight, I was certainly hooked. However, I wasn't actually ready to start learning to fly. I had other commitments like school and sporting and a part-time job. And to be completely transparent, the price of flight training seemed a bit too expensive at the time. So what did I do? I started working my part-time job more often. After saving up some cash from the job, I started flying more often, and there was no turning back. I was hooked. My next few flights were all about learning the basics of flight. Some of the earlier flights included effects controls, straight and level, medium turns, climbing descending, and climbing turns. In all of these earlier flights, I was still getting used to flying the aircraft and learning what all the controls do. This experience was a great experience, however after each flying lesson I always felt pretty fatigued and tired. There was always a lot of knowledge to be learnt, and I was always taking in a lot of information, and I still do. That's one thing that really surprised me about flying. You're always learning, and I do love that. For all these flights, the weather was always different. Some cloudy days, some sunny days, and some in between. One thing that was always different though was the wind, the direction and speed. But I can say without a doubt, from all these different flying lessons, I always learnt something new. This journey from scratch to 13 hours and finally solo came with multiple setbacks. Despite this, I pushed through them and I know I'm better off for it now. Regardless of whether I fly commercially or not in the future, I know that flying recreationally is certainly something I will continue with. Although I would have loved to fly all the time, my schedule didn't actually enable me to be able to do this. I was booking flights every 2 or 3 weeks, however with aircraft maintenance, instructor availability and weather cancellations, this made it quite hard to stay flying consistently. However, 1 year and over 13 hours since my trial introductory flight, I went for my first solo at 16 years of age. This flight was such an awesome experience. If you'd like to see the full video of my first solo flight, then I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can see the full video. These flights were full of a lot of firsts. My first solo, my first takeoff, my first landing, my first flight. This first chapter of my flying experience has been awesome. I've thoroughly enjoyed every single bit of it. I'm still in the very early stages of my flying career. However, I look forward to in a few years' time reflecting back on these videos and looking at where I am now. If you've made it this far in the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to follow more of my journey. I'm excited for the next chapter ahead and I can't wait to see where it takes me. I hope this video has been of value to you. I'll see you guys in my next video. Safe flying everyone.